Hi everyone, my topic for today's talk is CISSP Domain 5 Identity and Access Management using um, RFID in hospitals. Using RFID allows control over physical and logical access to the assets and manage identity and authentication of people, device, and services. Alright, let's get it started. Identity and access management using RFID technology in hospitals. Let's assume you went to hospital for a regular checkup and you ended up with serious injury or being dead. Yeah, being dead. That's scary, right? So, but but this is true. According to the research done by Johns Hopkins University, 251,000 plus patients are killed in United States yearly. Here the graph represents the medical errors in is the third biggest cause of death. It includes misidentification, blood transfusion, and wrong prescription given to the patient. Similarly, there are a lot of incidents occur in the world. 50,000 people are permanently injured every year just because of the medical errors. Because of the misidentification of the patients, I ended up with a wrong prescription that causes adverse effect on the patient's body. It causes drug reactions in the patient body, patient's health, and they ended up getting being dead. Recently, Sydney mother lost her new baby because of the medical error. In 2016, due to the staff negligence and poor security system, a newborn baby was kidnapped from hospitals. The name of the hospitals is Tana Mehra in Kelowna. So, what is identity and access management? It is a framework to manage electronic and digital identities that allows to control over a user to access the critical information. It enables authorized user to add, remove, and update the individuals and their roles in the system. It includes multi-factor authentication and privileged access management as well. It ensures that individual and profile data are secure and relevant to share. So, why hospitals should implement identity and access management? Firstly, of course, to avoid the medical errors and fraud. And secondly, to enhance IT security system and data protection. Thirdly, to manage the identities and access point across the workforce and and their patients. Okay, so radio frequency identification is one of the technology that can be used for identity and access management. For the good start and better understanding, I have included one video in the slide. In this video, you can see how RFID application can improve progress in the hospitals. Okay, all right, let's go for the introduction of RFID. Radio frequency identification is a technology that allows almost any object to wirelessly identified using a data transmission radio waves. Hundreds of tags can be easily read within a second with the help of RFID technology readers. And it can hold more data than other types of tags or levels. They can be rewritable and can be reused as well. It can be easily integrated with other system and processes. Data are integrated and can be even locked for extra protection. So, RFID is better than barcode. Barcode represents an unique identification of an object and can be scanned easily by a special type of scanner, but When it comes to scan several hundreds of objects, it consumes a lot of time and may function ineffectively. However, one RFID reader can scan hundreds and thousands of RFID in short period of time, maybe within a couple of seconds. It allows tracking the scanned patients, medical equipments, and documents as well. Once the barcode is printed, it can be modified and altered, but RFID technology supports rewritable functions as well. It allows modification of the data and can be combined with sensors and to function several activities. Barcode has several privacy and security issues, and even though the captured data from barcode can be encrypted, it cannot be prevented from decryption and cannot be prevented from being copied using various tools that are available in the market. However, data on the RFID tag are difficult to track as well and difficult to crack. Okay, so what can be done to implement RFID in the hospitals? Implementing RFID technology improves the quality of services and control over physical and logical access of the system. All the medical equipments and files and documents and the medical drug are embedded with the self-adhesive RFID tag. All the staff, including doctors and nurses, must have RFID embedded badges or identity card with them. Every patient must have RFID embedded wristband that stores the patient information such as patient ID, name, digital photo, regular medical history, etc. And these information must be provided by the time of admission and must be stored inside the RFID tag during the admission period. RFID reader and scanners are mounted on all the entrance and exit of the hospital, including emergency rooms and lab. Lastly, authorized staff must install a specific application on their smartphone that reads the RFID tag, or they can use the RFID tag, portable RFID tag available in the hospital. Okay, so to implement this system, an appropriate design has been introduced that is suitable for every department within the hospital. Here, architecture of the system is divided into two sections: hardware design and software design. The system architecture is shown on the slide. The proposed architecture is an integrated RFID-based system for patient and staff. It allows the patient and staff identification, authorization, tracking, and monitoring the services. The architecture is embedded with three important components. They are RFID tag, readers, and database server. RFID reader are mounted and at a strategic point in the specific area of the hospital. For example, every enter and exit door, laboratories, operating theaters, emergency room, etc. Staff are provided with the portable RFID reader as per required. The HL7 server will allow the interpretation ability within the clinical software developed by the different vendors. The data server stores all the information about the patient tag, template, and tracking information. Electronic medical reports server stores the patient medical record securely. The web server allows database queries that helps to track over the patient and staff location, files and medical equipment, etc. The information terminal facilitates the patient to access their own medical information by scanning the valid wrist RFID tag. So, implementing RFID in hospital is beneficial, and they are mentioned on the slide. All right, let's discuss about the application of the RFID technology. The first application of the RFID technology in the hospital is to control over physical and logical access to the assist. Firstly, RFID can be used to access the assets physically and logically. Every access control zone are equipped with magnetic doors that requires RFID tag to be unlocked. Every equipment in hospital are tagged with self-adhesive tag and registered with a unique ID. They require valid RFID tag to be scanned and to be scanned to operate. Users are allowed to access the equipment and even borrow within the specific room, but they should input the valid identity information that should match with the information registered inside the equipment. Once it is done, RFID reader should be able to read the user and equipment information. Otherwise, the door remains unlocked. And for the extra security purpose, illegal attempt to access the laboratory operation theaters and other controlled access control zone wants the invalid users, and also generates the alarm and even record the log events in the data server. Here the flowchart shows the access of equipment and access control zone in hospitals using RFID technology. The second one is patient identification. Within the with the growing number of patients, there is a high chances of misidentifying the patient before, during, and after the medical treatment. Patient misidentification is a major issue causing medical error in hospital. Several RFID-based technology has been introduced for the patient identification, and uh, and it involves scanning scannable tag with the self-adhesive RFID label that stores patient information. For example, name, date of birth, blood type, and basic medical procedures information, and they all are linked with a unique identification. Only the authorized personnel can access the stored information in RFID tag with the RFID reader. Instead, they will be asked to reswipe or re-tap the tag in the RFID reader. The It reduces the chances of medical errors such as misdiagnosis, misidentification, and even improper use of the drugs. And here the flowchart shows the access of the equipment and access control zone using RFID. The third one is tracking and monitoring the the drug, patient, staff, document, and medical equipment. RFID allows automated fast tracking of the assets, equipment, documents, and even patient and staff. It allows tracking and monitoring over uh, uh, the medical drug, patient, document, and medical equipment. It also enables tracking over vulnerable patients that includes long-time elderly patients, disordered patients, and children. RFID supplies the real-time information about the tagged subjects. Monitoring hospitals' inventory, supplies and assets are the most common use application of RFID information. RFID technology. It gives plenty of opportunity to maintain the accuracy on supply chain of the drug. This technology also tracks the real-time information of inventory and generates the alarm. And in the case of critical condition. Lastly, blood tracking is another application of RFID technology in hospital. Blood transfusion is a serious and common type of problem in many um, in different hospitals, in many hospitals, which are not accepted by any chance. This type of medical error often leads to death of the patients and yeah, and serious injuries. On emergency situation, patients are unable to state their identities, and doctors and nurses and caregivers are also not likely to remember the identity of the patient if the hospitals have large number of the patients. Thus, thus in this thus in this type of particular situation, RFID technology plays an effective role. Each pouch of the blood arrives with self-adhesive RFID label. These labels. These labels store the information such as blood origin, its designated use and purposes, um, and its recipient information, which are linked with unique identification. When the blood transfusion is required, the authorized staff confirms the patient details along with the RFID patient identification against the request slip. Once the confirmation is done, staff identification card is scanned. Staff identification is scanned and to open the fridge door. And once the door is open and closed, the inventory management analyzes the product has been removed from the fridge and displays on the screen. If the incorrect product is chosen from the fridge, the system generates the alarm and alerts the staff member. After the implementation of the technology, what could be the changes and progress in the hospital? Here, the slide shows the comparison of the manual and the RFID-based system in terms of time taken. American Journal of Computer Sciences and Information Technology published and research article regarding use of the RFID technology for managing the patient's medical files. It indicates that the graph is the analysis the sorry the graph indicates that the analysis done by the Department of Computer Sciences and Engineering, Old University of Bangladesh, Dhaka. It shows that the use of RFID based system against manual file system in terms of time taken. Use of RFID allows to track and monitor the mislocated files within short period of the time. The medical records and files can be addressed, accessed, processed, and requested, and even delivered easily without any time delay. So, along with the benefits, RFID technology comes with different kinds of challenges as well. Although the use of the RFID technology is advantageous in healthcare industry, there are some challenges occur or challenges of implementing it in the hospitals. Firstly, the price of the technology is huge obstacles in the healthcare industry. Currently, the cost of implementing and utilizing the technology is expensive than barcode system. The ISO and EPC organization has introduced the set of standard guidelines for implementing RFID technology in different industry, but lacks on healthcare industry. It results the lack of industrial standard in the hospitals or healthcare industry. Some sensitive electronic medical devices may disturb when it comes in contact with high power RFID readers. I- mm, in intentional misuse, unauthorized disclosure of healthcare information, and inappropriate collection of the information falls under RFID controversies. Okay, it is very important to protect the implemented technology for the sustainability. RFID tag can be the weakest point for security and protection of the data. Firstly, RFID wristbands should only be provided and activated at the time of patient admission in the hospital. Only the administrator is authorized to activate the band, the wrist RFID band. The the patient wristband should be activated only during the patient stay at hospital. Once the patient is discharged, the band should be deactivated and disposal immediately. Additionally, RFID technology is likely to be vulnerable for spoofing attack as well. Certain public key technologies help to improve the confidentiality, user authentication, integrity and privacy of the RFID tag and its associated application. The key management system is required to manage the private key. Also, reader can use the different frequency to detect the RFID tag and read the information so that attacker cannot detect and eavesdrop the traffic. Thus, RFID technology is an incredible innovation for quality of the healthcare. It improves the quality of services in an effective way, uh, and it helps to reduce the medical errors as well. The use of the RFID has tremendous benefit for hospitals. The proper utilization of this technology allows tracking and monitoring of the blood, medical equipment, um, staff, patient, and even documents. It reduces the chances of losing the confidential information of the patients. Apart from the benefit, it can also cause the adverse effect on the patient, staff, and within hospital if it's not used properly.